It's a group of IDLE alumni, IDLE coaches and mentors, and current members of the IDLE Academy. This group is a huge support for each and every one that's enrolled in the Academy. We help each other on projects, we give each other feedback, and we also give lots of support and encouragement to each other. We are our biggest cheerleaders when we reach our IDLE goals.
The Idol community is a vibrant group of diverse people who bring their varied skills and experiences to the community. This is a very active community, and somebody is always available to answer your questions.
So the Idle Courses community is a great place where you can go to get support along your Idle journey. This is a place you can go to ask questions, to be part of some really great learning discussions. You can share the learning projects that you're working on and receive feedback on those. You can also participate in giving feedback to others who share their projects, and in that way it becomes very collaborative. This is a great place to go to share your wins and successes along the way and get people cheering for you. It's also a place to get some encouragement when you are feeling frustrated or when you've hit some roadblocks. So one of the best things I think about this community, what makes it great, is the same thing that makes any community great, and that's the people that you find there. So this community is made up of adults from all age groups. So we probably got about 3 generations represented in the Idle Courses community. Also, people are coming from all over the world. We have people from India, people from the United Kingdom, from Egypt, all over the United States, and all places in between. And so in that way, it's a diverse community. And so that really adds a lot of richness to the learning experience that you find there. And not only that, but the people who are there are all very hardworking, goal-oriented, forward-thinking people who are ready to improve themselves and move forward professionally. And in that way, they are ready to also turn around and support you in your goals and your dedication to your self-improvement. With that being said, another great group of people that you find in the community are the mentors and the coaches, who are very involved in everything that's going on in the community. They're very accessible. They participate in the discussions. They participate in giving feedback. Also, the mentors hold live office hours where you can attend and ask questions and get answers in real time and have some real-time discussions with them and the other participants who are there. And that is a very enriching experience, to be able to have those conversations and get some advice from people who have been on this road and are going through what you're going through. It's a great place. The mentor sessions are great places to share successes and share frustrations, to get some advice, to share resources. That's another thing I love about it, is all of the resources that are shared in the community as well as in the mentor sessions. So the way that the community is set up, I feel like the Idle Courses Academy is not just providing the coursework for adult learning, but they have established this community that is actually the model for the way adult learning should look and the way adult learning takes place through the interactions and the sharing that goes on there.
Well, in the beginning, the IDLE community didn't really exist. There was a Facebook group where we asked questions and shared assets. We helped each other. But with each new cohort, the number of members grew, and so did the number of questions and assets. By cohort 6, there was so much activity in the Facebook group that things were just getting lost. Questions weren't being answered, and people were really not feeling supported. At the end of cohort 6, Dr. Robin closed the Facebook group and set up a new home on the Mighty Networks platform. This is what became known as the IDLE community. Now we've got message boards and accountability groups, and we've got private messaging. We have places to share assets, space for teams to collaborate, and there's pretty good tools to help the IDLE team manage the whole thing. Now we really do have a community all of our own, and it's all on one platform.
One of the really nice things about IDLE is that the community is there when you need it. So when I was at a time in my life when I could dive in and watch a workshop every day and attend different mentor groups and post my work for feedback, I could do all of that. And then at other times when I needed to kind of back off and focus on other things, I knew that the IDLE community was always going to be waiting for me when I was ready to dive back in. Other ways that I use the IDLE community, the mentorship network is so supportive. And it meant so much to me that I had an expert in every area that I was interested in. And there was always someone I could ask a question to and get an authentic answer back that helped me grow. So those are probably the top two main ways that I use the IDLE community. I appreciated the flexibility of IDLE so much, and it really helped me with this career transition because I could go at my own pace. And the mentors just meant the world to me professionally.
So while I was going through the IDLE Courses Academy, I kept logging into the community every day. I just wanted to see what other people were creating. I just wanted to feel part of that community. I wanted to get inspiration from them, learn from their mistakes, so I wasn't learning from mine all the time. And that was really, really helpful for me. There was one particular point when I found the community really helpful, and that was because I was going through like a low period in my job search because I was getting into interviews but not making it to the second round, or was just not offered a job. And I felt quite low at this point, and I stopped applying, and I decided that I had to get back into it because nobody was going to offer me a job if I didn't apply. So I reached out in the community and I wanted to create an accountability group. I think it was because the mentoring was on hold because it was in between cohort or for some reason, and I definitely wanted to create an accountability group that fit in my UK time. And then we got one together and we met every Sunday, and that was really helpful because we kept pushing each other forward, and I went back to it full steam after that, and then I got my job.
What I have found to be so beneficial is that I can constantly get feedback from people in the community. And I've done that in a couple of different ways. First of all, from going to live mentor sessions and being able to talk to somebody who's got more experience than I do, is actively working as an instructional designer or somewhere in the L&D field, and will share topics of interest and will answer questions live on the spot. And then the coaches are available to review your work. So I've submitted almost every single project that I've worked on so far to one of the coaches and gotten feedback from them. And the feedback is not just a, hey, yeah, that looks great. It's really extensive. It's rich feedback. And frequently it has come in the form of a video walkthrough of the coach explaining, here's what looks great in the project that you submitted. Here's what you can improve upon. And here are some suggestions for how you could improve upon it. And as someone who's trying to grow as an instructional design professional, this is exactly what I need. I need to know, okay, here's what I'm doing well, and here's where I can go, and here's where I can grow from there. And so I've been able to build relationships with the coaches, and they have helped me to grow as a professional. And then, I've also been a part of accountability groups, and that's something that we set up independently as active participants in the IDLE Academy. And I have developed friendships and working relationships with people. We meet on either a weekly basis with one group. We meet live over Zoom and talk and share and critique one another's work, which is another great way to get that peer critique in there, and stay in touch via text or through our accountability group messaging board in the IDLE network. So it's just a wonderful community to continue to grow. And I really feel like it is a true professional learning community.
So, how did I use the IDLE community? Man, you know what's so great about the IDLE community is that it's so natural to just talk to people that you've never met before. Like, this space is such a safe space that it's like, if you're an introvert or an extrovert, it doesn't really matter. Like, you just feel safe to network with people and to post your work. And I don't know, it just feels like a really natural kind of place to be in. It's kind of weird to describe. I'm not even sure how to really describe it better than that. I kind of used it, a lot to really just kind of post work and get feedback. But then in the interim, I ended up making a lot of friends in the academy, just a whole lot of people who were in my cohort and from previous cohorts. We just kind of empathized with each other. We kind of understood each other's journey, and we just connected over that. And so we had the Teachers in IDLE group for those of us who were transitioning from teaching. We formed accountability groups, and some of us joined more than one accountability group. I think I'm in like 4 of them. We began to network outside of the community. We exchanged phone numbers. Like, it's just such a wonderful place to be and to just kind of get to know people. And we all just kind of fell into everything, I guess. I don't know how better to describe it.
One of my goals when I joined IDLE was to create a portfolio, and it was very helpful to receive feedback on the various questions I had from the look of my website, the header image, which I changed several times, but there were a lot of feedback each time to help me pick the right header image, how it scaled on different devices, and also the look and feel of the entire website. I also use the community to solicit feedback on the various assets I'm creating for my portfolio, from e-learning to infographics, ILTs, and videos. And I have also connected with the mentors on any technical and tool-related questions I have, which are relating to my job. And it was very helpful to have a prompt response and also a different perspective. And I'm also a part of an accountability group and a job search group, which helps me keep aligned on my goal. And also we learn from each other and also support each other. And I truly love being part of this community.
So I really enjoy being part of the IDLE community. I would always, before sending my assets to the academy coaches, I got some really great, useful, helpful feedback from the community. And the community is made up of present members, past members. You have lifetime access. So you're getting expert feedback from the members, and you can either implement that feedback or not and submit it to the coaches for even more expert and personalized feedback. So I can't stress enough how amazing and really just useful and helpful that's been for me, particularly since I am a brand new instructional designer and e-learning developer.
I personally use the IDLE community a lot, especially when I was going through the content. I went to the community to ask for feedback on projects. If I got stuck using a tool, there was, something I couldn't quite figure out, troubleshooting wasn't working for me, I went to the community and there was always somebody there that had the answer. The community is comprised of people from all different walks of life, all different experiences and backgrounds, so somebody was going to be able to help me. And so I found the community very useful in that way, especially while I was learning. Now I use the community to view others' feedback on their projects and provide feedback for IDLE members and alumni when we're all working. Even if we've kind of moved on from the academy because we've gotten our IDLE jobs, a lot of us are still very active in the community and are trying to help pay it forward and giving our expertise and our advice in the community.
How did I use the community? Well, it's all about the feedback. I got excellent feedback from my coaches, mentors, peers, and it's also about giving feedback on a regular basis, and that is not easy for someone with even an ounce of imposter syndrome. I mean, who am I to give feedback? What do I know? I just got here. However, because the academy is so much about walking the walk, this process, it's highly normalized because you engage in it all the time and you just become much better at it. Everybody is so supportive and appreciative when you start giving them advice. You start to develop these skills that help you to see some of the most important aspects of ID in the context of doing rather than just reading about it. Nowadays, after I got my job, I use the community for questions that I might have. I get advice, and most importantly, I like to talk to my colleagues and friends about how our careers are unfolding and what's new in the world of ID.
During COVID, I started deciding that I wanted to change my path, know what to do next. So I decided to get a master's, and instructional design was what they offered. And I said, okay, that sounds cool. And I didn't know what it was, so I Googled it, and then I found IDLE Academy, and they had this 5-day free see what it's all about thing. And I did that, and I was intrigued. It seemed like it was going to take my graphic design and my teaching and my art, my artistic, my public speaking, all that stuff. It seemed like it was going to be a bit of all of that. So I finished the cohort. Even though I was doing my master's full time. It was during COVID, so I was unemployed, and I was doing school, and I was doing the academy. I was pretty invested. I was there pretty much all the time. And then I got a job, and I sort of fell off, and my only extra thing was my school. Once I finished that, I came back, and I've used it for everything from peer support, accountability, the Do It Messy in the academy was my absolute favorite piece because I'm a perfectionist, and it allows me to trust myself that I know what I'm doing and throw something together and go from there, right? Just start. And that was one of the biggest things that I got from my first time through the cohort, not to mention all of the feedback on the projects for my portfolio. So it was really helpful. I'd been gone for a while, and I found a job posting I was really interested in, but I didn't understand all the language. So I reached out to Robin, and I reached out to Jay and Tabitha, and I asked them, I said, what does it mean that they want to operationalize their training and their compliance? What does that mean? So they just called me, man. We just sat on the phone. It gave me enough context where I was able to do some research on my own. My third interview went really well, talked about operationalizing the training department and all these things. And it was really fantastic. I got the job, and I want to continue to learn. It's a fantastic place, man. If you haven't done it yet, jump in.
I would not be where I am today without the IDLE community. And that's not just talking about the mentors and the coaches who are phenomenal and are always available and always have an answer to something I'm wondering about or a tool I'm trying to learn. The fellow academy members helped me grow just as much as the mentors and coaches. I got my first client from a fellow IDLE Academy member who had a small business on the side. So she let me do a project with her, and that led to my first big portfolio asset, which then led to my work being posted on the software's customer showcase page, which then led to my first paid gig. So I would not be where I am today without the support of my fellow IDLE Academy members. The IDLE Academy is a place where professionals continue to build each other up, and the growth is limitless, which is one of my favorite things about the IDLE community.
Is totally changing my life for unmeasurable betterness, an example? Because if so, that. I've been waiting to make this change for a long time. It really needed to happen. I dabbled in ID and e-learning, but I didn't really feel like I had the background to make that shift. I was a veteran teacher, and I knew that if I had to retool, I'd probably have to take a pay cut. I was okay with that, but I knew it was going to take a long time. Well, after a month and a half of excellent feedback, hard work, and a very supportive community, I started to get offers, and I got one that I really wanted, and for more than I had been making in my previous career. So I took it, and people ask me now what it feels like to have left that long time career. So much of it I was dissatisfied with, and it feels like freedom. What else can I tell you? It feels like I'm doing something creative and fun and interesting for the first time in a long time. And it's such a good feeling.
So one of the ways that I have benefited the most from being part of Idle Courses community is by attending the live mentor sessions. That to me has provided so much support, and it's been a great place to go. Sometimes I go and just listen to the discussions that are taking place and listen to the way that people have handled the challenges that come along with learning how to become an idol. Sometimes I go and participate in the discussion, and I'm able to talk about things and ask questions. And also, there are always great resources that are shared to help you along the way. And the people themselves are great resources. Sometimes someone will mention something in the group meeting, and then I can contact them later personally if I needed to know more about what they said, or can you share that resource with me again, or things like that. And so for me, the thing that I have benefited the most from in the community is being part of those mentor sessions and being able to talk with people in real time.
When people ask me where I see the biggest value in the academy or where I see the biggest return to my investment, I always say there's two things. One is the sense of direction, that I know where to go, what to do, what to watch, what to complete, because everything is in the academy. And the second one is the community. And the community because you're not alone. Like, doing it alone would be really, really stressful, really hard, and quite long as well. And you wouldn't know whether you're doing it right or not. So that support is in the academy. And I kept asking questions all the time. I kept submitting my or posting my assets in the community, and that was really helpful. Some people might find it stressful to see all the people posting in the community, but for me that was really, really helpful because I needed that push and I felt that pressure on me, and it really, really, really pushed me forward. So yeah, I had tried some other courses before, but nobody really cared whether I was going to complete it next week or next month. So with the academy, I felt that and I did that.
For me, Idle Courses Academy is like my team, right? We all go in not knowing each other, new to this thing called Idle, wanting to transition our career or learn more. Many of us are teachers who are transitioning, and we share a lot of the same frustrations from all across the nation and even internationally as far as, dealing with education, K-12 education. And so with that, we naturally tend to form this bond. And so we have this group in Idle called the Teachers in Idle group. And a lot of us connect through there, and we have kind of a unique journey and bonding experience as we go through Idle courses and even afterwards. Through Idle, I have come to meet a lot of great people, a lot of people that I can now call my friends. We cried together and laughed together, and we asked all kinds of questions. We were vulnerable with each other. And I think that's what makes Idle Courses so unique, is that vulnerability, that being able to have that safe space to learn something, to ask those questions, because sometimes as adults, we don't like to ask questions. We just kind of sit back and figure out how we're going to learn it all on our own. And with Idle, you don't have to do that. We're all in it together. And so we have so many wins because of that. You know, we collaborate. If somebody finds a job that, hey, this may be better suited for them, we throw that out there and we give that person that chance, you know. I've collaborated with people inside of Idol. I'm a small business owner myself, so you know, if I know somebody needs like somebody, an actual SME, then I volunteered and I became one. And out of that, it was a win-win because now this person got a great video that was made. I mean, like, she did a phenomenal job and my business gets exposure. So it all works. That couldn't have been possible without Idol.
I joined the Academy in cohort 3, and I was like most career changers. I had questions and got help with assets as I was learning and applying for jobs. I was pretty active in the Facebook group that we used at the time, and then the Idol community when it started. I enjoyed helping people in that environment, and I realized that I was really not interested in finding a full-time position. So I started taking on small projects and started calling myself a freelancer. This is actually working pretty well for me. I get to do the things that I enjoy, and I can decline the stuff that I don't enjoy. So Idol courses gave me the skills to become an instructional designer, but the Idol community gave me an outlet to use those skills in a way that was really meaningful and fulfilling to me. By helping others to learn Idol skills so they can land a better job, I feel like I'm serving a larger purpose. And by training the trainers, if you will, I feel like I'm multiplying my value. And that's how the Idol community has helped me.
The community has helped me so much. I just felt kind of discouraged because I was new. So we actually created a WhatsApp group and we called it like Newbie Idols, where we just asked each other questions. I've had some of the members review my work. We just it's a bonding experience that no one else can really understand unless they're going through it with you.
The Idol community was vital to my success in transitioning from teacher to instructional designer. One of the reasons is that the Academy puts into practice that we go to the community first for feedback before we go to coaches or mentors. One of the great reasons for that is the Academy's filled with all different types of people from all different backgrounds and career experiences. So while you might be coming into the Academy cold and learning what instructional design is for the first time, we also have a lot of members who are veterans in the industry and they are here to upskill. And then we have others who come from different careers that dovetail nicely into instructional design, like a graphic designer. And so going to the community for feedback, you are getting expert advice from people who really know what they're talking about. Along with that expert advice, you're getting perspectives that you may not have seen, right? Or may not be aware of. And so having people share those different perspectives with you helps you grow and learn when you're developing any type of asset. I personally have made several different projects and thought, they were great before I turned them into the community. And while they were good, the community helped me make them better. And that was through just going through the feedback and making several iterations of that project until it really made sense and was really what it was supposed to be in the first place. And so one of the other reasons why the Idol community has really helped me is because I networked with people. And I didn't network just for the sake of networking to have career gains, but I really made personal relationships with several people in the Academy and have become very close friends with them, despite the distance that we might have, right? Because we're all over the United States and we're also global. So I've made really strong connections with several different people. And from those strong connections, I've been afforded opportunities for interviews with some pretty cool companies, and I landed a great job at designing instruction for Google. Hello, Google, right? That would not have been possible without my connections in the Idol community, right? I had a friend in the community who was already on the team. And she recommended me for the job, and I went and got the interview. None of that would have happened had she not recommended me for the job and had I not been friends with her in the academy. So you want to make these connections, because there will be people who have gotten jobs before you or are already in the industry, and they will have seen your work, and then they can really support you and be confident in referring you for jobs as well. So the community has been extremely helpful to me in those ways. And so I really, truly believe in making those connections. So when you join, you want to be part of accountability groups. If you don't have one, make one. Somebody's always looking for some extra support, right? And through that, you'll become friends with other people. And those friendships will carry you in places that you've never known before. In addition to being able to network with that, we've pushed each other in building our assets, building our portfolios and our websites, and it's just been a really positive experience being part of the IDOL community.
I've gotten so much out of being a part of the IDOL community. I have developed friendships with people who I've met through attending member meetings, posting on discussion boards, and particularly through being a part of accountability groups. Accountability groups are something that you have to set up on your own, and they really allow you to form stronger relationships with people because you're in it for the same reason. And one of the best things that's come for me out of being a part of accountability groups is that that's actually how I wound up getting the job that I have now as an instructional designer. Someone that I had gotten to know through their active participation in IDOL Academy, as well as my own active participation in IDOL Academy, led to them sharing a job lead with me. And that job lead led to my actually getting a job. So were it not for that connection that I had made, I would not have the job that I have today. So IDOL Academy has been fantastic for me in terms of not just helping me to acquire the skills that I was seeking in order to become an instructional design professional, but in terms of forging new relationships with people that will continue for a long time and in actually helping me to land a job. So it's been a fantastic experience.